What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again on Thursday. We only have a 3-game slate here tonight, but we're still going to make it work. I got 6 of my favorite players on the slate to attack, 2 of my pitchers, 3 of my hitters, and 1 of my favorite value guys to throw in your lineups here tonight. We're coming off a good night with the video and the plays yesterday, especially our 2 pitchers from yesterday. Sean Manaea went 8 innings, had a good night against the Rangers, and also John Gray had a very good night going against the Padres there. So if you ran both those guys out at the pitcher spot, you were probably looking pretty good. And also Dexter Fowler was a good value call. Nolan Arenado did pretty well, but it was looking for a little bit more. He kept on getting walked in that game. And then Trevor Story hit a ground rule double. Was wishing that was going to be a home run, but we'll take what we're given there. Solid night. So drop a like in the video if you ran out those 2 pitchers or any of those plays from yesterday and got some success from it. Let's try to reach 100 likes. If we could do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. Let's just hop into it. I'm going to go with Robbie right here at the top at 11,700. I think his upside is a lot bigger than most of these guys on the slate. Maybe Lester could keep up with them here on the slate, but Robbie Ray, I think he could reach 30 drafting points honestly on this one. Had a tough little game against Colorado, but that was in Arizona, and Colorado has a very good lineup. They're very good against lefties in general, so that was a tough draw there in his first game. But last year, in just that first game in general, he's really struggled in Arizona, and he's been absolutely dominant on the road. So if you look at the splits from last year, I think his ERA was like over 4 at home last year, but on the road, he had a 1.86 ERA and allowed only a 175 average against him on the road. So he was absolutely dominant. In this game, he'll be in St. Louis, which is a pitcher's park. So this is a good draw for him, I think, against St. Louis. And he, like I said, he has the best upset on the slate. His K rate, absolutely crazy last year, 32% K rate last year. So I think Robbie Wright, if he just has like a little bit less runs given up, I think he can rack up the strikeouts and go deeper in this game against St. Louis. So I like him a lot in the spot. So I'm going to go ahead and lock him in here. But a little bit, maybe it's contrarian, I don't know. I'm going to go with the other side of the ball in St. Louis with Adam Wainwright, his first start of the year here. You don't get that same upside with going with 2 pitchers in the same game, but I think that both these guys can do enough to return good value here. He's only 7,000, so you get some savings off of John Lester, so you can pay up for some more bats instead of stacking up the 2 starting pitchers. The 2 top pitchers, I mean, with Lester and Robbie Wright. Because if you stack up those 2, it only leaves you with 3,400 main per player. But if you throw Adam Wainwright in there, you get up to 3,900 main per player. And I think he's a solid play here against Arizona. Not a scary lineup. I mean, they got Paul Goldschmidt and A.J. Pollock in there, but they're both better against left-handed pitchers. So I think Wainwright can make his way through this lineup, and they're getting a park downgrade here, going to St. Louis. Like I mentioned, it's a pitcher's park here, and Adam Wainwright's another guy that had some crazy away home splits yet last year. He was much better at home with a 3.08 ERA. On the road, he had a 7.32 ERA, so much more comfortable here for whatever reason. And like I said, it's a pitcher's park. I think he can do enough to return value, and he could get the win. They're currently favored to win, and Arizona is only projected 3.9 runs, so they think that Wainwright's going to have a pretty solid showing here in his first game. So 7,000, I'm going to go ahead and lock him in there. So with those 2 guys, like I think Robbie Ray can do enough, and we should be guaranteed a win, hopefully, with one of those guys. In theory, they could blow it. Like, the bullpen could blow it for one of those guys, or if they're, like, tied going into the bullpen. It's still doable. Like, sometimes, even if you go, say we go Lester and Robbie Ray, there's still a chance that both those guys don't get the win. It just kind of sacrifices their upside, but I still think that both these guys are safe. Like, Lester, honestly, he could blow up against that Milwaukee lineup. They have a lot of righties in there. And Lester hasn't been the same Lester as of late. Like last year, he did struggle a lot against right-handed hitters. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And he has blown up in some of those games over the last couple of years. So I just think that Robbie Ray and Adam Wainwright are very safe for those 2 pitchers spots. So move on to the hitters now. I'm going to go with this guy, KRIS Bryant. Damn good hitter, especially against lefties. So probably pretty chalky in the slate, honestly. But at 5,600, against the lefty here. I think he is the best upside of any hitter here. He can hit a home run easily, some extra base hits, maybe even 2 home runs. If you look at the splits, much better against lefties. A 218 ISO against them and a 405 WOBA against left-handed pitchers last year. And Brent Sutter, he's not a great pitcher at all. He'll be pitching in Milwaukee, a good hitter's park here. For KRIS, he allowed, Brent Sutter allowed 1.65 home runs per 9 last year against right-handed batters. So a good little opportunity for KRIS here to hit a home run. 5,600. I think his home run this year was off a lefty as well. So we're going to go ahead and lock him in there. For my second guy, Josh Bell, another guy with crazy power at 4,300 here, going against Homer Bailey, one of the worst pitchers in the league. So I think Josh Bell can do some damage against him. He has good power. Homer Bailey, just an awful pitcher, like I mentioned. The Pirates, they're implied the second most runs in this slate, 3-game slate, and he's in that cleanup spot, so he has a lot of RBI opportunities in this game. Coming off a home run yesterday against Minnesota, so maybe he'll keep this going here in the homestand against Cincinnati. I like him a lot. Josh Bell, I think he's an underrated hitter, so we're going to go ahead and lock him in there. And for my third spot, Corey Dickerson, staying with that Pirates lineup. He should be batting like maybe the spot behind Josh Bell in this lineup, so you can nice little stack there with those guys being able to kind of produce fantasy points back to back. And at 3,500, it's a nice little price tag. He has good upside. He's very good against right-handed pitchers. Much more power against them. A 220 ISO against right-handed pitchers last year. And he got a stolen base yesterday. He's definitely capable of running on the bases and getting some steals. And that's good for his upside. Homer Bailey is a guy who can steal on pretty easily. So Corey Dickerson has that power-speed combo that he could put on display here. And just with this lineup and against Homer Bailey, I think they can do a lot of damage and have a lot of RBI opportunities in this spot. 3,500. It's a great price tag. Let's go ahead and lock him in there. So that's the kind of the core right there with the 3 hitters and 2 pitchers. You got Josh Bell, KRIS Bryant, and Corey Dickerson, along with Robbie Wright and Adam Wainwright. And for my value guide, same price as Corey Dickerson, but just too cheap here. Adam Duvall in the same game. 3,500 going against a left-handed pitcher. Another guy, insane splits, even more dramatic than KRIS Bryant against lefties. Against the lefties last year. Let's just compare the splits from last year. He had a 293 ISO against the lefties and a 382 WOBA, so great numbers against the lefties. And against the righties, only a 213 ISO and a 309 WOBA, so much better against the lefties here. And he'll be going against the lefty in this spot for the pitcher for Pittsburgh, kind of an underexperienced guy. So I think Adam Duvall can take advantage of this matchup here. He'll be in that meat of that order, probably batting 4th maybe in this spot behind Joey Votto. So he should have some opportunities here to get some good fantasy points. Not only 3,500, it's a great price tag. Already hit a home run this year. Let's make it another Adam Duvall. Lock him in there. So that is it for the plays. Get you up to 3,600 remaining per player. So definitely doable. So drop a like in the video if you did enjoy it. Got anything out of value in this one. I wish you guys the best of luck. 3-game slate. So maybe you want to get a little bit more random with some of these plays to fill it out. It's up to you, though. You can definitely subscribe if you are new here to these videos. I do these videos every single day for the MLB slates, and also be uploading an NBA DraftKings picks video right after this, so you can go ahead and check that out. Hit that notification icon to get alerted every time I upload these videos. But good luck here tonight, guys. Wish you guys the best of luck. Let's keep the fire going. Adam Wainwright's going to be the key to the slate. If he has a great night, it could be bombs away from these hitters as well. We can have a crazy good night. So good luck tonight, guys, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.